Here are 10 key ideas that will power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second, we will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals and teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired.
Now to the latest on the Trump transition. The president-elect is set to meet with President Biden later this week as he focuses on selecting his White House team. Rachel Scott is in West Palm Beach, Florida. And Rachel, the president-elect just nominated a new member of his cabinet overnight.
Exactly, Rebecca. Good morning to you. We just learned moments ago that Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, a top Republican in House leadership, has accepted a role from President-elect Donald Trump to serve as his ambassador to the United Nations. It comes as the president-elect also reveals another key role in his administration, border czar. Overnight, President-elect Donald Trump vowing to crack down on illegal immigration, taking to Truth Social to announce former Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director Tom Homan will serve as border czar. Homan recently spoke at the Republican National Convention, delivering this message to undocumented immigrants.
You better start packing now. You're damn right. Because you're going home.
Homan said Trump will carry out mass deportations of the estimated 12 million undocumented immigrants with a, quote, well-targeted planned operation led by ICE. During Homan's time leading ICE during the first Trump administration, thousands of migrant children were separated from their parents. He was recently asked on 60 Minutes if there's a way to carry out mass deportations without separating families.
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
President-elect Trump still hunkered down at Mar-a-Lago, meeting with his advisors, preparing to announce other key positions, ruling out roles for two Republicans who served in his first administration, writing, I will not be inviting former Ambassador Nikki Haley or former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to join the Trump administration, which is currently in formation. One person who could be influential in the next administration, Elon Musk. Sources tell ABC News that Musk was at Mar-a-Lago, listening in as the president-elect took a congratulations call from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. At one point, Trump even handing Musk the phone to speak to Zelensky himself. While Trump has promised to end the war between Russia and Ukraine in 24 hours, he hasn't elaborated on how. The president-elect preparing to travel to Washington to meet President Biden in the Oval Office this week. Biden set to make the case for the U.S. not to walk away from supporting additional aid to Ukraine, something Republicans have been skeptical of.
The president will have the chance to explain to President Trump how he sees things, where they stand, and talk to President Trump about how President Trump is thinking about taking on these issues when he takes office.
Trump will be strengthened by a Republican.
It's called military Keynesianism. Come on, Jack, look alive. Every bomb we drop overseas is a bomb we must create in Scranton at the manufacturing facilities. This is our job, Jack. This is our goal. It's the engine that drives the American economy. Why? Is it widely known that the ICE guy was appointed by Obama before? I literally only know this because you mentioned it in the past, and I've looked it up further this morning.
Majority in the Senate.
The guy
and on the same day of that House meeting,
psycho.
Senate Republicans will be electing their new leader. Trump already weighing in, not with an endorsement, but with a demand that the candidates change the rules to allow him to temporarily appoint some nominees without a Senate vote. Trump writing, we need positions filled immediately. So Republicans will cast a secret ballot to elect a new Republican leader. It comes as Mitch McConnell is stepping down from Republican leader after serving in that position for a decade.
Yeah, Thomas Homan, the number one thumbo on the planet, was, of course, he was going to be in charge of all deportation of illegal aliens back to their country of origin. Trump wrote, adding that there is nobody better at policing and controlling our borders. Interestingly enough, of course, former police officer Thomas Homan, and Border Patrol agent, has worked under 6 presidents during his 3 decades in law enforcement. He was the executive associate director of enforcement and removal operations for ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, under President Obungler. During that administration, ICE carried out a record number of deportations. If you recall, that's why I call Obungler the deportation king. Bro, Trump is already elected. They won't change the president because of your opinion. You are not that guy. Put the fries in the bag. Your opinion won't change. God damn it. Yeah. So that's the beautiful part about this, is that it doesn't matter who the president is, because it's not like I was fully and firmly committed to the Biden administration either. I was incredibly critical of the Biden administration when they were president, and I will continue to be incredibly critical of the Trump administration now that Trump is president. I will continue to organize against all of the most awful aspects of his presidency. So the thing is, I'll stand by your side. It doesn't matter if you hate me. I will still defend your rights. And when push comes to shove, when one of your immediate family members is slated to be deported, I'll be there. If that's not the case, if you have no immediate family members that are undocumented migrants, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be something that harms you. That's the difference between you and I. I want you to have health care. You are captivated by a platform of hatred. I, on the other hand, want you to still get health care. I still want you to go to college for free. I still want you to have a good job. I want you to have a better future. I want you to be able to own a home. That's why I'm perceived as a radical on the left, because of those things that I fight for. And those things are universal values. Trump has announced the abolition of the Department of Education.
Doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education.
No, this is like end game shit. We're in the end stage. Nah, that's like, he's like, oh, Project 2025, don't know what that is. Also, I'm abolishing the Department of Education.
In Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse.
There is literally no comparison in any of the countries. Like, these guys would be like, China's doing better than us. Like, they'll be like, Norway's doing better than us. And it's like, yeah, dude, they also have departments of education. Like, we need more. We need more nationalization on that process, not less.
Going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up. All those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. Here are 10 key ideas that will power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second, we will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals and teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired. Third, we will ensure our classrooms are focused not on political indoctrination, but on teaching the knowledge and skills needed to succeed. Reading, writing, math, science, arithmetic, and other truly useful subjects. Fourth, we will teach students to love their country, not to hate their country like they're taught right now. Fifth, we will support bringing back prayer to our schools. Sixth, we will achieve schools that are safe, secure, and drug-free, with immediate expulsion for any student who harms a teacher or another student. Seventh, we will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice. Eighth, we will ensure students have access to project-based learning experiences inside the classroom to help train them for meaningful work outside the classroom. Ninth, we will strive to give all students access to internships and work experiences that can set them on a path to their first job. They're going to be very, very successful. I want them to be more successful than Trump. Let them go out and be more successful. I will be the happiest person in the world. But we want our children to have a great life and be successful. And 10th, we will ensure that all schools provide excellent jobs and career counseling so that high school and college students can get a head start on jobs and careers best suited to their God-given talents. This is how we will ensure a great education for every American child. And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate us.
Why are people saying this is a deep fake? I'm losing my goddamn mind. I think it's an older video of what he's going to do. Yeah, it's from September 13th, 2023.
Hate our children. We're going to send it all back to the states. Thank you very much.
You can make everyone shit their pants by repackaging statements he's already made. It's not fake. Not sure about the video, but there are plans now. No, I know.